Thomas Jonathan Jackson, later known as Stonewall Jackson, is a name synonymous with valor and military genius during the American Civil War. Yet before he became a stalwart of the Confederate Army, Jackson's early life was rooted in the fertile soil of Virginia, a land that fostered many of America's historical figures. Jackson was born on the 21st of January, 1824, in Clarksburg, a small town in present-day West Virginia. His early years were marked by profound challenges and formative experiences that would shape the man he was to become. Jackson was the third child of Jonathan and Julia Neal Jackson. His father, a moving force in the family, was a relatively successful businessman whose life would be cut short by illness when Thomas was just 2 years old. This event plunged the family into a maelstrom of hardship. His mother was left to provide for her young children in a time when widows' prospects were limited. Julia Jackson demonstrated remarkable resilience in the face of adversity, taking on the mantle of both caregiver and provider. As a result, Thomas and his siblings were raised in an environment that reflected the virtues of perseverance, fortitude, and hard work. The harsh realities of life during this period also had a profound impact on young Thomas. The loss of his father forced him to mature quickly, and he developed an early understanding of the struggles that beset his family. This upbringing positioned him as a figure of quiet introspection, and it is said that he became known for his pensive demeanor among peers. Despite these challenges, or perhaps because of them, Jackson's early life was imbued with a sense of inner strength that would define his character in the years to come. In terms of education, Jackson's formal schooling was intermittent at best. The rural nature of Clarksburg, coupled with the financial instability in his family, meant that traditional schooling was a luxury. Nevertheless, Julia Jackson emphasized the importance of education and sought to impart knowledge to her children, often taking on the role of teacher herself. His initial education was conducted at home, supplemented by instruction at local schools when possible. The uncertainty surrounding his schooling contributed to Jackson's belief in diligence and self-reliance, traits that he would carry into his future pursuits. As he reached his teenage years, Thomas Jackson displayed an intense curiosity about the world around him. His growing appetite for knowledge drove him to seek out opportunities to learn, whether through reading or by participating in the local community. This thirst for understanding led him to work as a farmhand for a local farmer, where he gained a profound respect for labor and discipline. His experiences in these formative years ignited an ambition within him, and those who encountered Jackson as a youth often noted his unwavering resolve and determination. However, he was not without his social struggles. Though he possessed an inquisitive mind and deep moral integrity, young Thomas was perceived by his peers as somewhat aloof and socially awkward. His introverted nature often led others to misunderstand him. Many found him to be shy and distant, perhaps stemming from the turbulent disruptions in his early family life. This could have incited certain teasing or isolation during his school years, as was common for those who deviated from social norms. Despite this, it is evident from contemporary accounts that even at a young age, Jackson earned a measure of respect for his intellect and tenacity. As he approached the cusp of adulthood, Thomas Jackson's ambition began to crystallize in the form of a desire for higher education. In 1842, he received an opportunity that would change the trajectory of his life: acceptance into the United States Military Academy at West Point. This monumental step would lead him on a path that would not only define his future, but also alter the course of American history. In conclusion, the early life of Thomas Jonathan Jackson was marked by adversity, resilience, and the pressures of a challenging environment. The formative years spent in Clarksburg under the guardianship of a determined mother cultivated the character traits that would later manifest in his military strategies and leadership. The social perceptions and struggles he faced as a youth, coupled with an unyielding quest for knowledge, laid the groundwork for a profound transformation. Thus, the journey of Thomas Jonathan Jackson from the shadows of personal loss to the halls of West Point set the stage for his emergence as one of history's most enigmatic military figures. Jackson attended West Point from 1842 to 1846, a period that would be pivotal in his development as both a military leader and a person. The son of a subsistence farmer, Jackson faced considerable adversity during his early life, which instilled in him a strong work ethic and determination. Entering West Point as a cadet, He was initially out of place among students from more affluent backgrounds. However, his commitment to his studies and military discipline quickly allowed him to adapt to the rigorous demands of the academy. Jackson was known for his intense focus on academics, with a particular affinity for artillery, which foreshadowed his later strategic prowess. Jackson's peers noted his stern demeanor and his scholarly dedication. He was not merely an average student, rather he ranked 17th in his class of 59 graduates. While he exhibited a strong aptitude for his studies, it was his uneven social interactions that garnered attention. His contemporaries perceived him somewhat aloof, exemplifying a seriousness that often set him apart. Nonetheless, those who took the time to know him described Jackson as deeply principled and honest. One classmate remarked, "He was a man of few words, but when he spoke, we listened." This encapsulated the respect he commanded among his fellow cadets, despite his reserved nature. Jackson's time at West Point was not only about academics, it was also a formative social experience. One of the most notable characteristics of his personality was his strong sense of faith, which informed much of his behavior and decisions during his cadet years. He was known to have often quoted scripture, reflecting his deep, unwavering commitment to his religious beliefs. To Jackson, faith was a guiding principle, and it became a key aspect of his identity during his time at the academy. Despite the awarded grades and accolades, Jackson faced considerable challenges. His performance in some subjects, especially in mathematics, was inconsistent, leading to frustration and periods of self-doubt. However, these personal battles helped fortify his resilience, a trait that would be crucial in his future military strategies. His determination to succeed despite the odds would later serve him well as a commander in the field. Graduating in 1946, Jackson subsequently prepared for the Mexican-American War, a conflict that would offer him his first taste of combat. His education at West Point had provided him with the skills and foundational knowledge necessary for military service, and his experiences at the academy shaped his future responses to the intense warfare of the Civil War. In a letter expressing his sentiments about the impending conflict, he eloquently stated, "I have no fear of the South. My heart is with her, for I believe that she carries the fire of freedom in her soul." In conclusion, Thomas Jonathan Jackson's journey at West Point was fraught with both challenges and triumphs. His academic achievements, combined with the development of a steadfast character, positioned him as a noteworthy leader. The friendships he forged and the lessons he learned would echo throughout his military career. As he graduated and prepared for the trials of the Mexican-American War, the foundation laid during his years at West Point was evident. Jackson emerged not only as a soldier, but as a man whose dedication to duty, faith, and principle would leave an indelible mark on American history. Jackson's unwavering faith manifested itself in both his personal life and military career. He was known to spend time in prayer before battles, seeking guidance and strength from God. His dedication to God and his understanding of providence often gave him a sense of confidence and calm amid the turmoil of war. It is reported that he once stated, "I am not afraid of the enemy. God is with me." This declaration illustrates the extent to which Jackson relied on his faith, believing that divine providence was a determining factor in his life's affairs. Further illustrating his devotion, Jackson was known to integrate religious practices into military life. He conducted prayers with his men, reinforcing their commitment not only to the Confederate cause, but also to a higher moral calling. His army witnessed his genuine piety, often commenting on how his faith inspired them to confront adversity with a sense of divine purpose. This integration of faith into military routine fostered unity among his troops, solidifying a bond that was both personal and spiritual. In conclusion, Thomas Jonathan Jackson's religious faith was a vital component of his identity and leadership. His dedication to Christianity helped shape his military career, infusing it with a profound sense of purpose and moral clarity. Jackson's reflections on faith during his military years reveal not only a man deeply committed to his beliefs, but also a leader who sought to inspire those around him. His actions and words demonstrate how faith can provide strength and guidance, even in the darkest circumstances. Ultimately, Stonewall Jackson served not just as a military tactician, but as a testament to the influence of faith in shaping character and destiny amid the tumult of war. But his religious faith had also played a crucial role in his part in the Mexican-American War. In 1846, when hostilities broke out between the United States and Mexico, Jackson was a 24-year-old professor at the Virginia Military Institute. He had previously served in the United States Army during the Seminole Wars and had a foundational understanding of military discipline and strategy. Motivated by a sense of duty and a desire for adventure, Jackson resigned from his academic position to answer the call to arms. He enlisted as a member of the Virginia Volunteers and was subsequently appointed as a lieutenant. Jackson's peers held him in high regard long before the Mexican-American War commenced. His leadership potential and dogged determination were evident in his military training, where he was known for his strict adherence to discipline and his strong work ethic. One of his fellow officers remarked, "He was never known to shirk from duty, regardless of the circumstances," highlighting Jackson's unwavering commitment. Indeed, his desire to lead and serve would only intensify as he faced the uncertainties of combat. As Jackson arrived in Mexico, he found himself part of General Zachary Taylor's army, which aimed to secure California and New Mexico. The first significant engagement in which Jackson played a vital role was the Battle of Palo Alto on the 8th of May, 1846. Although Jackson was not yet in command of larger formations, he demonstrated remarkable bravery and tactical foresight in skirmishes that required boldness and quick decision-making. His conduct during this early confrontation laid the foundation for the reputation he later became renowned for, that of a steadfast and capable leader under duress. Throughout the war, particularly during the Battle of Buena Vista in February 1847, Jackson's military acumen became more noticeable. He commanded a unit and exhibited tactical ingenuity through decisive maneuvers. His ability to maintain his unit's morale and cohesion in the face of overwhelming odds garnered him respect from his contemporaries. General William J. Worth, who recognized Jackson's capabilities, noted, "His bravery as a soldier and the capability he demonstrated in command mark him as a young man of military promise." Such accolades from prominent officers further positioned Jackson as a rising star within the U.S. military ranks. Jackson's experiences on the battlefield were not without introspection. After the war, he reflected on the trials of leadership and the weight that accompanied commanding men in dire situations. He famously remarked in a letter home, "The art of war is chaos. It is a stewardship of souls through the turmoil." This quote encapsulates his understanding of warfare as not merely a series of tactical engagements, but as a profound responsibility that demanded empathy and wisdom. In addition to his military achievements, the friendships formed during the Mexican-American War would play significant roles in his later military engagements during the Civil War. Jackson's interactions with other officers, such as future Confederate generals, including Robert E. Lee and J. E. B. Stuart, were instrumental in shaping the operational strategies that would define their collective efforts in later battles. Their camaraderie, developed through shared experiences, difficulties, and triumphs, forged unshakable bonds that influenced the leadership dynamics of the Confederacy. As the Mexican-American War drew to a close in 1848, Jackson returned to a nation that was both exhilarated by its territorial expansions and divided by the implications of those gains. His experiences in the war had transformed him into a seasoned military leader, adept at maneuvering units in battle and understanding the psychological dimensions of warfare. He would soon return to academic life at VM Warren, but the lessons learned in Mexico would be crucial as he faced the seismic challenges of the Civil War. In conclusion, Thomas Jonathan Jackson's participation in the Mexican-American War was a vital chapter in his military career that profoundly influenced his subsequent actions in the Civil War. His leadership, marked by an unwavering commitment to duty and an innate understanding of military strategy, earned him respect among his peers and shaped his legacy as one of the South's most effective generals. The battlefields of Mexico not only provided him with crucial experiences that tested his mettle as a soldier, but also formed the foundation upon which he would build his future contributions to American military history.